You've probably noticed it too. Culture keeps telling us that appearance is everything. But the deeper strengths that people actually find attractive long-term, I think they're just not being talked about enough. And that constant pressure, it's warping how we see ourselves, even when we've got something very real to offer. So in this video, I'm pushing back. I'm going to break down a type of psychological attractiveness that has nothing to do with external factors. I'll explain why exactly people find it so desirable, and I'll describe the versions of this trait that increase attraction and the ones that backfire. This way you can draw the right people in for the right reasons. I'm Dr. Thomas Smithyman. I'm a clinical psychologist and the author of this book. And you've probably seen this play out in real life. Even if you've never named it, have you ever noticed how some people become more attractive the longer that you know them, while others somehow lose appeal? Or maybe you look at a couple together and think, I don't get it, until you actually get to know them better. And this is because attraction has multiple triggers, luckily, and many aren't immediately obvious. To demonstrate, just notice your own reactions here. How attractive does this person seem to date? What about this one? This one? This one? Okay, well, now that you've thought about it, let's get to know them a little more. So for each person, I'm going to show you their picture, and then I'm going to tell you a little story about them. As I do, consider how attractive this person might be to date. For this first person, they were part of a group of students on a field trip. And so for this trip, there was no food provided. All the students were told to bring their own food with them for lunch. However, one of those students left their food at home. So this person you're looking at had brought a lunch which was really only enough for themselves. But they weren't okay letting some other student go without food. So they decided to give up some of their food to share. So this next person we're looking at was in an apartment with some fellow students. Some of them were drinking and wanted to go out to a nightclub. And there was another person there who said that they'd rather not drink. Anyways, there were some people in this group that started calling the student boring and trying to force them into drinking. So the person that we're looking at here intervened, saying that they stood by that student's decision and they told the others to back off and stop trying to pressure them. Our next contestant. So there was a female student who needed to get home, but it was too late for her to get the bus. So this person said that they would walk her home in order to keep her safe, even though it was raining heavily and it meant that they'd get home a lot later than they had planned. For this next person, there are food banks all over England to help people who struggle to pay their bills get food. So to help these food banks run effectively, they need volunteers from the public. So this person heard that his local food banks were crying out for volunteers to help. He decided to give up his spare time in order to volunteer. So these photos and scenarios are drawn from research studies. And if you're like the people who took part in those studies, you might have noticed something interesting happening. Once you heard a little more about these people, maybe they became a bit more attractive to you. Not because of money, not because of looks, not because of power of some kind, but because they were actively helping others. Something referred to in the research as altruism. And it encompasses different traits, things like kindness, generosity, helpfulness. And what I can tell you is that time and time again in research, altruistic people are found to be more attractive to date. Most people think that they understand this already, but it is a lot more nuanced than they realize. And this is exactly where people start to get confused. So let me explain. Am I trying to say looks don't matter? No, not at all. In fact, if you happen to be good looking, then being altruistic actually gives you a really big boost in attractiveness. But if you happen to be average, less attractive, then this is potentially even more important. One study found that altruism was potentially more important than good looks. People said they'd prefer to date somebody who was just altruistic, treating people well, kindly, generously, over somebody who was just good looking. You might remember from a previous video we did that our processing of how physically attractive we think someone looks is not just based on visuals. There are multiple factors. So a study that came out last year looked at it with altruism too, meaning generosity, helpfulness, kindness, belief in fairness. It found that potentially altruistic people are processed and seen as being better looking, including if we are altruistic, it seems like people kind of don't notice or forget our physical imperfections more. Luckily for me, they mentioned both scars and wonky teeth. So that should give you at least a taste of how potentially powerful altruism can be. At this point, some of you are probably thinking a few things. Maybe you're thinking, I was nice once and it didn't work. Or I know people who are selfish, even jerks, but people still think they're attractive. Or maybe you're thinking altruistic people, they just get taken advantage of. All of these reactions make sense. We see these things play out in real life. But that is not because altruism itself is unattractive. It's because not all altruism is the same. People are lumping very different behaviors together and calling all of them altruism. But once you separate the different kinds, almost all of that confusion will disappear. These results have been found in studies that have looked across cultures, across genders, even sexual orientations. Altruism tends to increase long-term desirability because it signals something deeper. Okay, so am I saying that when you walk into a club on a Saturday night, everyone's going to turn and go, oh, that's the person volunteering at the soup kitchen, they're so hot? No, that's not what I'm saying. But that doesn't mean that this is not really powerful. Maybe you thought, since I was describing scenarios and pictures, that this is maybe a light finding, but this really applies in real life. So there was a study I found really interesting where they looked at people's altruism level and they tracked them over time to see who ended up in dating relationships. The altruism actually predicted that people were much more likely to end up in a dating relationship. And another study found that the people who scored high on altruism, helpfulness, kindness, they actually reported more dating success in their life, both casually and long-term. It's not the altruism itself, it's what it suggests about us. And the idea is, if you are altruistic, you are signaling that you will be a good partner and potentially a good parent. And for real long-term connection, dating relationships, this is what we're looking for. I do want to note these findings only apply to a particular kind of altruism that I'll call attractive altruism. Pause here. Guess under what conditions do you think people are most likely to be altruistic? Who are they around? What's going on? If you said around attractive people that they're into, then you would be correct. As humans, there is a big chunk of the population that's going to figure out, well, it sounds like a lot of effort to do this thing. Is there a way I can just kind of cheat and seem like this is me without it actually costing me anything? Can I just do this when there's only attractive people around and then I'm just a jerk the rest of the time? Let me be very clear here. Not all altruism is attractive. The kind that is has a few defining features. When you hear findings like this, it's tempting to want to turn them into certainties. Like, oh, this must always work. But the research like this, it's about probabilities. It's describing patterns across a lot of observations. It's not guarantees about one person. And honestly, as humans, we're just not built to be great at thinking in probabilities. We really like and prefer simple yes or no answers. That's why I'm glad to be working with today's sponsor, Brilliant. Brilliant helps you develop the kind of thinking that we want in order to make sense of research. And it does it through visual, interactive problem solving in maths, data, and computer science. If you go to the data course, you'll actually find sections on probability and chance. Personally, I like that you're not just shown information, you get to work with it. So you learn it more deeply. You can manipulate real data sets from places like Spotify and Airbnb, and you get to test your intuition continuously. Also, getting to visualize the data really helps the concept stick. Brilliant personalizes the training, so you start at the level that matches your background, and then it adapts your practice as you progress. To start learning for free, go to brilliant.org/Dr. Thomas Smithyman, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant has also given our viewers a 30-day free trial plus 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited access to everything on the platform. Okay, speaking of probabilities, we should probably get back to the question at hand. Attractive altruism is balanced. So there was a study where they showed people video of a guy going to the ATM, getting money out. He took out 30 pounds, and they showed one version where he gave 1 pound of that, and another version where he gave 30 pounds. And people found the 30-pound one attractive and the 1 pound one not attractive. So altruism only counts if it is somewhat costly. On the other hand, the research finds that if somebody is too generous, giving way too much, indiscriminately even, then that is also not attractive. Instead of suggesting that you would be this good partner and a good parent, maybe it suggests that you're wasteful. Another way of looking at it is, if there is somebody who is being extremely altruistic, other people tend to feel bad about themselves because it's like, hey, I'm trying to be altruistic and now I look like I'm being selfish. Like, stop raising the bar so high. So attractive altruism is balanced. It costs something, but it doesn't cost everything. Attractive altruism is consistent. It shows up consistently. It's a part of who you are. It's not a thing you do. What people trust and find attractive is generosity that shows up repeatedly in ordinary life, not just in big grand moments and not just when someone's watching. So the consistency signals this is a stable trait, not a performance you're putting on. And attractive altruism is genuine. This means it's driven by the right reasons. It's important to know here, people aren't attracted to the behavior itself. They're attracted to that motive behind it. So altruism loses its appeal when it looks like you're doing it like strategically, or it's performative, or you're doing it out of fear, or even that you're doing it for approval. People will discount it if it seems like you're trying to do it to get something out of it. For example, narcissists are known to do a lot of public altruism, but not necessarily private. Let's put those pieces together. Attractive altruism is regularly and freely choosing to do reasonable things to benefit others without expecting something in return. This means it's not grudging, we're not complaining about doing it. It does not have to be about money. You don't just do it once, and you don't only do it to people you're trying to impress or when other people are watching. And you don't do it to gain favor, prestige, or to get something back. It is not a performance, it is not a tactic. And it's not about keeping score, who owes you what. People who live this way are not naive. They are selective about this. So let's think about, how does this play out in real life? If you were being altruistic, does that person on the first date deserve your altruism? Maybe. But I think this shows up first and most strongly with friends and with family, the people that actually matter. You're being generous with people who actually deserve it. You're generous where it aligns with your values. And then, I think importantly, you pay attention to whether it's reciprocated or not. It doesn't have to be equal. It may happen in different ways, but you do want to notice if people are altruistic back to you. So you're acting from who you are, and then you're noticing who they are in response. And there's another effect that people often miss that I think is really, really important. Altruism doesn't just change how others feel about you. It changes how you feel about yourself. If you're acting in line with your values and you're being altruistic, then it's been shown to increase your sense of meaning, your self-respect, and also your mood, what's called sometimes the helper's high. By the way, I'm planning an online workshop around attraction and dating and connection, and I want to help understand where I can be most useful for you. There's a short form below if you'd like to share your input around this, and thanks to all of you who filled it out so far. I can already tell that thanks to your help, we're going to make this a really good workshop. Altruism fits within one of the 3 pillars of psychological attraction, the warmth category, but it cannot stand alone. So watch this next video where I break down the pillar of self-fidelity, the ability to own who you are, and then I explain why putting these two together can make such a powerful impact in your life.